And the
Think about who that cast is. Think about what we're doing.
Yeah, and one of them I can't stand. Well, good. They ought to lose it because it was stupid. I didn't even watch it, but I wouldn't even watch it because it had that woman on there. That gross woman. I don't like her.
Bill Murray was in it, and Dan Aykroyd were both in that remake.
Well, cameos. People don't want to see him in cameos. They want to see them or someone like them. All right, let's go over a couple of things. Oh, there's natural law. On your calculator, get your calculator out. I want you to go over. We need to show you natural law because some of you like to deal with natural law, and some of you don't. I like dealing with LOG, but well, that's why I'm showing it to you. On the lower left-hand side of the TI 83 or 84, down around the left corner, left bottom corner, you'll see the natural log key. You'll see the LOG key. And then right above it probably, unless you got it below it, you'll have an LN key. Or on top of the log key, you might have an LN up there in the second function, something like that. The only purpose of me showing you this is because the calculator can only calculate two types of logs. It can only calculate log base 10, which is LOG, and log base what? Log base E, which is equal to natural log. Now you need to make a note of this because a lot of people don't know what natural log is. Well, now you know. And whenever you get confused about something, about natural log, change it into log base E, and you may confuse yourself because you're used to getting LOG. Usually most teachers start with LOG before they go into natural log. So if you're doing something with the natural log, say for instance, if you have natural log of 8 is equal to some number, okay? Then you can change this into log base E of 8 is equal to some number, and now you can apply what? The definition of logarithm and rewrite it. Okay, now you could also do it here, but it's different. Okay, and that's why I tell students whenever you're in doubt with a natural log, turn it into log base E, and you may be able to confuse yourself with the definition of logarithm. Okay, so the only way to calculate is with these two. Now, that leads us to the change base formula. I'm going to go ahead and, I don't know where the change base formula is, but I'm going to go ahead and do it now because we're talking about these two, the only thing that the calculator can calculate. This is called the change base formula. If I have log of, and this is the same in natural log also, if I have log and I'm going to put base A of X, and A is not equal to 10, and A is not equal to E, all right? So I can't calculate within the calculator because A is not 10 and not E. Then what I do? Well, I change it to log base 10 of X over log base 10 of A, or natural log of X over natural log of A. Whichever one you want to use. So if I have, for example, log base 2 of 8. Well, there's no way you can calculate that in your calculator. So what I do, I'm an LOG teacher, so I use LOG. I will use natural log in a homework problem, but if I start out something, I want to do the LOG. So LOG base 10 of 8 over LOG base 10 of 2. Now, why didn't you see me write that 10 there? Because the natural log limit with LOG, if nothing is at its base, it's assumed to be what? A 10. Okay? The 10 is kind of like the square root symbol on a square root. You don't have a 2 there, you just have the square root symbol. It's kind of like 1 in front of x. You don't see the 1, but it's there. So, you know, if you put log of 8 over log of 2, that's fine. But just remember, it's log base 10. That's the change base formula. You're talking about one question on the test probably. I'll give you something like log base 2 of 8, and you'll be able to do that on the calculator. So we're talking about 1 or 2 questions, definition of a logarithm, 1 or 2 questions with the change base formula. All right? So we're up to 4 on the test out of 25. And most of it's going to come from rewriting and solving equations. That's where it's going to come. And rewriting consists of the product rule, quotient rule, and the inverse rule. Product rule. I think I showed y'all this last time. Log, I'm just going to say base A of xy is and yields log base A of x plus log base A of y. Or you could just put log. You don't have to put A, you can just put log. Any kind of base, you can rewrite it. You can rewrite the product as what? The sum, or you can rewrite the sum as the product. Just like your exponential laws back in pre-algebra. The quotient rule. Log of x over y yields log of x minus the log of y. And the inverse rule. The inverse rule says log x to the y power, let's use it, to the n power yields n log of x. Now remember, you can go from left to right, or you can go from right to left. Depends on what they give you. So make sure you write those down and highlight them. Remember, I gave you all those. I put them all on the board last time and told you to maybe Google them and put them on the index card or whatever with the exponential terms. Of course, I'm.
Inverse power being
Yeah. And. Oh, I'm sorry. Power rule. I don't know why I did that. Let me change that. It's not inverse rule. It's power rule. Sorry. All right. So, thanks for mentioning that. So, if I give you log of 2x, you can rewrite that as log of 2 plus the log of what? X. Log of x over y. Let's do x over 2. No, x over 2. That would be the log of x minus the log of 2. And if I gave you log of x to the third power, 3 log of x. Now, I don't have many students that say that's difficult. Most students, just they look at it and they go, okay, I got that, no problem. But what happens? I start putting several things in there. And then it's kind of like, you ever taken something apart and it's got a spring in it? And when you take it apart, the spring just goes. That's what happens to y'all when I put several steps in there. Y'all just kind of like that register person that you give the 6 cents to, $11.56, and you give them $12.06, and they. Y'all ever seen that happen? I do it all the time. I think that people that run cash registers, if they can't do that math, they shouldn't be at the cash register.
Well, even now, it's like some cash registers they want to let you put the exact amount they give you. And it's just like so many people on our registers still can do that.
They shouldn't be running the register. But it's only what, $30, $40, $400 if you're short, that's all. All right, so what about log x? X y over w. So what to do there? Well, you got division and multiplication. So that's going to be log of x plus log of y. What? Minus log of w. If you want to put parentheses around this part, that's fine. Add an exponent or a couple of exponents to it. Maybe do this. Now do that one. There's two ways you can do it. What's one way you can do it? Pull the 3 out front. But if you do that, you've got to remember to put brackets around the whole thing so you can distribute that 3 or leave it out front. Because if you don't, then it's going to go with just the first term. So if you bring that 3 out front, you got to do this. And then do what's in brackets by itself. Or distribute the 3 with each of the terms after that. But if you don't, then the 3, if you don't do this, then the 3 is going to go with the x. And that's wrong. Okay? So make sure you put bracket here, put bracket there. And that's correct, or you can distribute the 3. What's the other way you can do it? It's not rhetorical, I'm asking y'all.
Just do it with each term.
In other words, use your power rule of exponents and distribute it here, here, and there, and then you get log of x to the third, y to the third over what? W to the third. And then you can work that out. Either way, you get the same answer, but you need to realize that there's 2 different ways to do it. Okay? So let's go to the handy dandy book and let's work some, because this is what you really need to work. What page is the homework on for this section? 67. 67. There's some. So let's do something simple. Let's do 67 and 68 right now. 67 and 68. I'll blow it up a little bit for you. And the only reason I'm doing 2 is so y'all can put them in your notebook, and you'll have. We'll do 2 with the radicals. 67 and 68. They're pretty simple. Can you still not see it? Let me blow it up some more. How's that? Is that better? 67 and 68. Everybody. You could have 2 possible answers. If you use the change-based formula, you'd have a different answer. Since it's log-based 2 and 3, you could write the answer in the form of the change-based formula. I would take either answer. So, log base 2 of 6 plus log base 2 of x, and I'm going to put that in parentheses just to show you that that's together, minus log base 2 of y. Now, if you wanted to write that in change-based formula, then log of 6 over the log of 2 plus log of x over the log of 2 minus log of y over the log of 2. I'm sorry. Yeah, the regular OG. Same thing here. Log of 3, base 3 of 4 plus log base 3 of p minus log base 3 of q. All right, try number 74. I'll tell you what, do 70 and 74, yes. That's log base z on 74. Yes, I saw Kong and I really liked it. Saw it on the Fire Stick. And I'm not a King Kong fan. I don't like King Kong, but I liked it. I like Kong. The what? Who was in it?
Jack Black.
Who's Jack Black?
He's a comedian. Primarily he's a comedian, but he has done some serious stuff.
I don't know who Jack Black is. I think I know which one you're talking about, but I still don't know who that is. I think I know which one you're talking about. But remember, I don't care nothing about comedies, so I probably don't know who he is because he's a comedian. I know the funny comedians like Chris Rock and Eddie Murphy and that guy that what's his name, Ron White, and you know but some of them ain't that funny. So that's probably why I don't know him. Is he funny?
He's more like,
No. When you ask somebody are they funny, well, he's no. That means no.
Adam Sandler.
Uh,
it's like giving star medium.
I know Adam Sandler. I like his movies. Well, I like his movies. Anger Management was I love that movie with him and Jack Nicholson, where he was just all the time mad. That was so funny. I like him when he's mad. Yeah. I thought which was the one when he beat up Bob Barker. That was pretty stupid. Yeah, that was pretty stupid. And they had Apollo Creed. His arm was. That was stupid. All right. Yeah, Kong was pretty good. I watched The House on Willow Street. See, and there was 2 or 3 other horror movies I watched. Can't remember now. Kong was pretty good. All right, now remember, the square root of x, and I might not have shown you this, but the square root of x, fill it in, the 2 right here and the 1 right here, is equal to x to the what? 1/2 power. You put the exponent over the index. Remember that. If I hadn't shown you that, you're going to be changing a lot of these in calculus. So what's the cube root of x to the 5th power? How can I rewrite the cube root of x to the 5th power? X to the 5 what? 5/3. So always write down a couple of examples of those for radicals. Remember, exponent over index. And because logarithms and calculus, and there's a lot of, well, you saw the calculus problem, but they're natural logs. They go together like, there you go, thank you. I was trying to think of something. I was thinking of oil and water. I'm sorry, OIL and water. Oil and water, for some of you who don't know what oil is, it's oil. Now you know why I say OIL, because some of y'all are going, do I say oil or do I say oil? Oil. I would like a quart of oil, please.
that's stuff this was.
Oil. I would like a quart for it. Y'all want to know the story behind that? Okay, well, I'll tell you anymore. First semester I taught in Pickens 122. Now, I don't know if it's still Pickens 122, but you know where the ramp is in Pickens? It goes like zigzag in Pickens Hall. It goes down to the computer lab. Well, right across the hall on the upper side of the main hallway, that was my room, 122 right there. Oh, God. Pickens Hall used to have that puke yellow elementary school paint. That's what you know. Some of y'all know what I'm talking about. And I was teaching that. I had a class in there. It was kind of like this class. Had a small blackboard, and had blackboard back then. And they were just changing everything into whiteboards. And I had this woman that sat at the front, and she was from Pennsylvania. And the first thing she said when we wrote our cards, and we wrote a little bit about ourselves and that kind of thing, and I passed them around, and we tried to guess, you know, who was the person that worked at Michelin, and who was the magician, and who was this little thing we did. She put, I'm from Pennsylvania, and I speak perfect English. Everybody else does not. And I had about 3 or 4 bubbles on this side of the room over here from West Oak and Salem. That's like South Iva and Lounsville, where they don't have a crime rate. You know why they don't have a crime rate? And what happens if you break in their house? They shoot you, or if you escape, they track you down and they hang you, all right? Or shoot you, one of the two. So Salem, West Oak, Westminster, and
this woman said that, and she had this Pennsylvania, and she had this nasal thing going on like this. Well, about 6 or 8 weeks into the semester, about 3/4 of the way, I was showing the FOIL method. And I didn't say FOIL. I said it the way that I say it, which is probably incorrect, everybody, because y'all are perfect. All right? This is where that comes from. And I said the FOIL method. And she would always say, she liked making fun of me because I wasn't as polished and refined as I am now. I was really, really redneck back then. No, I'm just kidding. And I said, the FOIL method. And she would, Mr. McClure, I do not understand what you are saying. And she would do that whenever I said a southern term like over yonder or over, up yonder or cut out the lights or anything. She would say, I do not understand what you're saying. She would make a big deal out of it because she was an asshole. Okay? And, or whatever a woman could be. And we won't say that. But anyway, she, about 3 or 4 weeks in the semester, I said, we're going to use the FOIL method. And she said, Mr. McClure, I don't understand what you're saying. I said, FOIL method. Mr. McClure, I do not understand you. And I wrote it on the board, FOIL, with the periods in between it. And she said, oh, you mean FOIL. And when she said FOIL, that's the way she said it. I rehearsed that. That's the way she said it. FOIL. It was like the I and the L was doing something in her nose. And the whole class erupted. She ran out of the room crying. She didn't come back for 2 or 3 days. The book sat there for like 2 or 3 days, and finally they just left. And I gave her a big old, she didn't drop, so I gave her a big old F, and I loved every minute of it. She spent the whole, I forgot to say that nobody would say anything in the class because after the first couple of weeks, after she made fun of you, because she was from Pennsylvania, she would make fun of everybody by the way they talked. And the first person that laughed at her, she ran out of the room. Kind of reminds you of tolerance, doesn't it? Tolerance nowadays, there is no tolerance nowadays. If you disagree with me, I'm going to beat you upside the head with a bat. Or beat you upside the head with my tolerance sign. Okay? So she could dish it out, but she couldn't take it. So since that first semester, I have been pronouncing that FOIL, OIL. I do not say that word FOIL or OIL or BOIL, or I don't do those because I don't say BOIL, I say BOLE. Got it? A lot of people wonder why I don't, and I don't do it in real life either. My mother said, why don't you just say the word? I said, I just don't. And I don't. I say, I need some OIL in my truck, or I need, that's just the way I've been doing it since 1995. So if you wonder why I do that, that's why. It's not as bad as the Bubettes and Bubba clotheslining the Barbie. I'll have to tell you that story too. Boy, knocked her out. But that was a couple of semesters. That was a couple of years after that.
She was that intelligent?
Huh? The Barbie?
Oh,
the Pennsylvania girl?
Yeah, she was that intelligent, and then she never even picked up on it. It was an acronym.
Yeah. Yeah, she could. Yeah, she was Miss Perfect. And she was a prime example of dishing out, but she couldn't take it because they laughed at her. The whole class laughed at her, and she took out and was running. I don't know. All I know is I'm glad I gave her an F. Boy, that felt good too. All right, so I'm going to change this to log base 2 to 3 to the 1/2 over 5p. So just change it to 3 to the 1/2. Now it's going to be log of 2 plus log of 3 to the 1/2 power. I'm going to put that in parentheses.
minus log of 5 plus what? Log of p. Log 2. All this is log 2, sorry. Now there's two things that can be done. What are they? Power rule, right here. Log base 2 of 2 plus 1/2 log of 2 of 3, and then minus all that other stuff. I'm just going to put parentheses and squiggles. That don't change. What's the other thing that can be done? Look in your properties that I showed you last time we met, that I told you to write down, or I told you to Google them and make a copy of them when you went home. What page is the logarithm of properties on, Mr. Harvell? Haskell Harvell?
You've got that quotient
Of
363.
363. What does it say when your base is equal to the y? What do you get? 1. So, which one changes to 1? 1 plus 1/2 log base 2 of 3 minus, and whatever the rest of it is. So you see, sometimes the logarithms can get you. Now, do you remember when you did the reverse FOIL method and then you moved into the shortcuts, the 5 shortcuts? Difference of 2 squares, sum of 2 cubes, difference of 2 cubes. And the teacher told you that if you didn't learn those, they should have told you, then you were going to be SOL when you got into calculus and higher classes. Well, here we go again. And Mr. Harvell can tell you, because he's already had Calc 1 and 2 and 3 and IFEQ. Do these logarithmic rules go away? No, they do not. So if you're one of these students that's heading toward calculus, not only rationalizing the denominator, the exponential laws, the reverse FOIL, completing the square, and the shortcuts, now you can add on logarithms, because that is something that's essential for you to be able to continue doing good in calculus. You don't need to know logarithms to do the basics of calculus. You need to know the logarithms to continue with the basics of calculus, because what they do is they take the basics of calculus, and the logarithms are back here. Later on, they throw the logarithms onto the basics of calculus. Instead of x and y, you have log of x and y, and you need to learn these rules so you can rewrite them. And the one that you especially need is this one. The power rule of logarithms is the one that you use the most in calculus. Okay? All right, so that's that one. Now, let's do, y'all write this one. Y'all got this one written down? Because I'm going to go to the whiteboard. I don't like doing this. Y'all got this? Somebody got this one written down?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, what does it say? What in the world? Oh, there we go. What does it say? This Strickland?
Log z,
Log base z
x squared, x to the 5th power,
equals, x squared,
or x5, x to the 5th.
x to the 5th power,
Let's say
x to the 5th,
y cubed
y cubed,
over 3.
3.
You see?
Okay, so that's going to be log base z of x to the 5th plus log base z of y to the 3rd minus log of 3, base z of 3. And then that 5 comes out. 3 comes out. And that's your answer. So make sure, I think there's like 9 or 12 problems in that little section right there. Make sure you can do the ones that I give you on the homework, but make sure you can do those too, because the more you do, the better off you're going to be. Okay? Now the other type of problems having to do with rewriting is right here. If it'll let me. Yeah. Now look at that one. Now you're going the other way. So that's going to be log of k divided by m divided by what? A. So you would write it the other way. You go from right to left. Masalama. That means one piece in there. Okay? These are calculator problems. If you miss one of these on the test, do not what? Tell anybody. Let's do number 91. Change base formula. How would you rewrite 91? Log of 5 over 15. That's all right. At least interaction. At least I got interaction out of it. And it was enunciated, and it was loud enough for me to hear. Good. And what does that come out to be? 593. So make sure you can do one of those on the test. Now, I didn't see, well, power rules. Try number, just for giggles, let's try number 88. And while y'all are working on 88, I'm going to get the roll. I don't have any idea what time it is. Let's see. We want 12:02. We still got, I don't know what time class is over, 12:30? Or 12:35? All right, just let's 12:15. What do you want? Oh, heck, just y'all go home. It's all right. All you're going to do is blame, in the next class, you're just going to blame me for not learning anything, right? That's all. Mm-hmm. Blame it on the Russians. My 10-year-old son was with me this week or last week, and we were riding down the road, and I have my XM on Fox News most of the time because I don't listen to much of the radio unless I'm listening to CDs. I listen to music, but I don't listen to the radio. Oh, I changed my password. I had to change my password. Anyway, they were talking about the Russians and how the Democrats are saying the Russians did this and the Russians did this. And my son said, this is a 10-year-old boy, okay? He says, Daddy, don't the Democrats look kind of foolish? I said, yeah. I said, they're looking really foolish. That's a 10-year-old boy. Ain't that something? That he recognizes that they're looking foolish. I mean, I was just looking out the window, looking down the road. I wasn't saying anything.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't tell you my story. I might have told y'all the story yesterday about the flat tire. He heard this story, but
That's why.
this is the mentality of the United States, or not the dummies of the United States. Went to a tire place.
It's basically a story to get women to go marry some foreign country to do.
Yeah, because men suck. Our men, United States, men are not men anymore. And I hate to say that. This guy, well, he was a deadhead anyway. I was up at the tires place getting the tire changed. I'm just. No, you wasn't open. It's Sunday, Saturday or Sunday, and Paul's not open on Saturday. You work for Paul, right? Oh, did you tell your boss who you had from? What'd he say?
He said, "Oh, I know him."
He's that guy is funny.
Oh man, he's good.
He is so funny.
Every day.
I wish I had his personality.
I know, he can literally talk and do anything to everybody.
Yeah, he can talk to anybody. Beats anything I ever seen. Anyway, he's a good guy. Anyway, I fixed the tire so I could take it up there. I had to fix it with 3 or 4 plugs, but it wasn't fixed good because the hole was so big. So I had to take the tire off, pull it up there. Anyway, while I'm sitting there and he's working with the tire, it was Saturday afternoon, as a matter of fact, this guy pulls up in this little car, and he gets out. Now it's 75 degrees, and this guy has this big old cap on his head, like a idiot. What do you call a stocking cap? Big old thick stocking cap on his head. I just sat there, my son sitting beside me, and we just sitting there. He pulls up and he says, "My tire keeps going down on the front." And the guy looked at him and said, "Okay, get back in the car and pull it up. Let me look at it." And he rolled the tire around, and there's this big old roofing nail. Now, a roofing nail, if you know anything about a roofing nail, it's about this long, and it has about an inch and a quarter, and it's got a head on it about the size of a dime. I saw it 25 feet away. And this guy just looked at, he got out and he said, "Come here." He said, "There's your problem." He said, "What is it?" "What is it?" He said, "It's a nail." "Well, how did I fix it?" He didn't even know. "Do I need to get a new tire?" Now, a lot of you are sitting there going, all you got to do is fix it, or, get the guy to fix it. This guy had no clue. This guy was 21 to 26 years old. He had no clue whatsoever. That's scary. My 10-year-old son was standing beside me and just looked at me and shook his head and walked off, because my son knew how to fix the tire. My son saw it was because it done hit the pavement so many times. It was shiny. It was almost white. It was so shiny.
I had a flat tire a couple of weeks ago. It's I basically, since I pointed it out because I didn't see it at first, I pulled off, looked at it, put some air in my tire, went to the dealership because I didn't have a patch to or anything on there at the time. I just took it to the dealership, to Goodyear on Quincy Boulevard. And
Burn you a new one.
it lasted. It wasn't bad.
Did they fix it?
Yeah, they fixed it. They said it was just a very slow thing.
I bet they charged you, what, $30?
15.
Okay, that wasn't bad. Usually 15, $20 is the going rate to patch a tire.
Yeah.
Used tire runs 20. Huh?
$5.
Oh, down at Quality Tire. Quality Tire. They still have that answer machine that says Quality Tire.
There you go. Yeah, that thing grows right there. You need to pull it up right there.
All right, let's see. Allison's here. Barnes, Bearden. I don't remember seeing Bearden on Skype. Who's on Skype today? Cherry is here, right?
Nope, she's not here. She didn't Skype in either. Clark, Chris, Driver is on Skype. Fields is on Skype. Fisher,
Yes.
Fox is on Skype. Fuller is on Skype. Wait a minute, is Driver on Skype? I don't think so. Got my Taylors mixed up. Fuller's on Skype. Harvale is here. Hull, Kemp, Kraft, Kunkel is on Skype. Silva, I don't see her today. Nope. Simmons is here. Strickland's here. Warnick and Weaver's on Skype. All right, let's get back to what we were doing. Okay, that one right there. I'm gonna just right quick. I'm not gonna write all that out. Snip. Can't even think how to spell it. Let's see. I learned this in training. No, I've learned myself. We don't have training on new stuff. We just put it in the classroom and just let it collect us.
Go upstairs and do some of that thing,
What thing?
that.
Where?
Go ask them, come upstairs and do something of that thing.
All right. So, first of all, get rid of the 2/3 and 4/3. So that's going to be natural log m to the 4/3 minus natural log of 8n to the what? 2/3 minus natural log of m cubed n squared. Now that's going to be natural log of what? Well, natural log, and I'm just going to put a big set of brackets because I'm going to write it as 1 natural log. And that's going to be m to the 4/3 divided by 8n to the what? 2/3 divided by what? M to the 3rd n what? N squared. Now I'm going to simplify this because that m to the 3rd n is over what? I can say it's over 1. And then that's going to be natural log of m to the 4/3 over 8n to the 2/3 multiplied by what? 1 over m to the 3rd n to the 2nd. Now I need to go ahead and distribute this 2/3 because I can simplify some of this because m and n is the same base. So natural log of m to the 4/3 times 1. I'm just going to put 1 here. I ain't gonna do that. And then 8 to the 2/3, n to the 2/3, and then m to the 3rd, and n squared. Now, where's my same bases? Well, I have a same base here. So what can I do with the exponents on the yellow highlights? Yep. And where else do I have the same bases? And I have to subtract those. So do that. And we get natural log brackets, and I'm going to put m to the 4/3, and I'm going to put minus, I'm going to put a 3 over 1 right here, because I'm going to change it, over 8 to the 2/3, n to the 2/3, plus 2 over 1. And I'm going to take my handy dandy red marker, and I'm going to change that 3 over 1 into what? 9 over 3. Because I've got to have a what? Common denominator. And change that 2 over 1 into what? 6 over 3. So that's going to be the natural log of m to the what? Negative 5/3 over 8 to the 2/3, n to the 8/3. And then what can I do with my exponential law with the negative exponent? Bring it downstairs, Hubert. Yeah, using the inverse rule. So that's 1 over, thank you class, 8 to the 2/3, n to the 8/3, and m to the what? 5. And you can keep going with the 8, but that's probably, you could also factor out, but you don't have to do all that. That's probably the best answer. I don't know what they want in the back of the book or whatever, but as you can see, this is a good test question because it has everything in it. Okay. Notice, what did I do? Step by what?
Step.
I didn't try to do 6 steps in a ½ inch of notebook paper, like some of y'all try to do. Step by step. Now, remember, exponents and logarithms, there's one thing that you don't have to worry about. You do not have to worry about doing it in any certain order because there's different orders in doing it. As long as you stay with the properties and not do any of your own properties, you'll be okay. You can, just like we did in that first problem, we distributed the 3 versus bringing the 3 out front. There's 2 different ways to do it. There's several different ways. This answer could be written exponent over index. The cube root of 8 is what? 2. 2 to the second power is 4. So that 8 to the 2/3 can turn into a 4. There's different ways to write the answer. There's different ways to do the problem. So don't be held, don't think you're wrong just because you get an X besides your homework or your test, because chances are it might be correct if you follow the properties. Yes, sir.
If we do, if we end up with an answer like that and it's wrong, and if we show it to you
on the test, we'll have to do it because, or I can look at it and discern whether it's the same or not.
Yeah. Also, if we show you our work.
Yeah. No problem. Okay. Question, gripe, complaint. Okay, that's section what? 5 point what, Mr. Harvell?
3.
All right, that's section 5.3. Section 5.4 and 5.5, I think, are the equations, and we'll work on those Thursday. So y'all should be able to get up to 5.3 now. Y'all have a good day.